Hey everybody, we talk a lot about reasons to move to Maine and what's so great about Maine and maybe what's so not so great about Maine. But this week we're going to talk about what it's like to actually live here. So I'm going to give you 5 things that people love about living in Portland, Maine. And you're going to want to stick around for number 3 because that's probably my favorite. So let's do this. All right, everybody. Hey, like I said, we're going to talk about 5 things that people really love about living here in Portland, Maine. I'm Doug Schauf with the Make Maine Your Home team over Remax Oceanside. I'm excited to talk about this because we do talk a lot about, hey, come on, let's move to Maine, or pros and cons about Maine, things like that. But this is what really keeps us here in Portland once you get here. And it's really going to be a lot of fun. Number 1 on our list, it's a walkable city. When I first moved here, I lived up on Munjoy Hill for many years. It's like the east end of Portland. Living up there was really great because you're really close to the ocean. If you want to go downtown or down to the old port, very walkable. I used to love walking down there, especially as a younger guy, hit the bars or whatever and just kind of walk back. There's also a lot of like seaside trails, like down on the eastern prom and over on the western prom. There's some great like walking or biking trails right along the ocean, so you get some great views. Of course, being downtown in the old port, just kind of cruising around shopping, checking out all the shops and all that stuff is really great. Very bike friendly as well, so walkable and bike friendly, so you can really get around either on your feet or on 2 wheels very, very easily. And that's one of the things that a lot of us that live here just absolutely love about Portland, is that you can get around very easily without having to jump into a car all the time. So number 2 on our list is we have a great artistic community here. Galleries, the Maine College of Art and Design is here. There's a great music scene here. I know we've done some videos on the music scene, so you definitely check those out. There's some great film and other great venues for bigger things like plays, and like around the holiday season, there's lots of great things going on. Again, I hate to keep going back when I first moved here. When I first moved here, it was again a different city, but like within a few years of me living here, like the town kind of really embraced the artistic community, and you started to see things in the public realm that like a lot of private artists would do and donate, maybe down in like Monument Square and down in the Old Port, lots of cool things. And I remember all of us as young guys just being like, whoa, that's new. What's going on there? And it was always kind of cool to see what was going to be put out there on display. And it's just gotten better and better over the years and more and more. And it's just very cool. Again, like number 1, walkable city. It's cool just to walk around, check out all those artistic things that are throughout the city. There's this great like First Friday walk. It's like the first Friday of every month all year long. All the galleries are open. You can walk around, check things out. If you want more information about that, you can check the Portland events calendar, and that'll be listed there with a lot more information. But that's a really great thing to do if you like just getting out, walking around, checking out all the great artwork. I highly recommend, the first Friday of every month, check that out. Moving on to number 3, food. Portland is a big foodie town, and we really love that. Once you live here and you start getting used to the restaurants and stuff, it's amazing. One thing that I always talk about when people are asking like, hey, what's so great about Portland? And we start talking about the food is whenever like people who live here, we travel to other areas of the country. I have family down in like the Baltimore area, for example, and nothing against Baltimore, I really like it. But my family's always like, hey, we're going to take you to this great restaurant. And we go out to this great restaurant, and it's all right. But I think it is because we're so spoiled with how good everything is in Portland, Maine. So once you live here, you definitely get sucked in because you find all the little nooks and crannies on where the best food is. And it's just unbelievable. One thing you do want to check out around food is there's a Portland food map. It's really great. It kind of talks to you about who's open, what's available, new openings, things like that. If you're a foodie and you like to jump around and check out new restaurants or all the restaurants, it's a great thing to check out and really focus in on. So number 4, we're going to talk about historical charm. And for me, that's one of the things that just made me fall in love with Portland, Maine. I just love like the old brick, and the cool architecture that's here. Again, when you're walking around the old port or the downtown area, it's just awesome to see the architecture here. Even just normal like old neighborhoods that we go into a lot for real estate. A lot of the older houses are just very, very cool. Farmhouses, the brick downtown, it's just wonderful. You always got something cool to look at. And that's what's really awesome about Portland. You can get sucked into that when you're visiting and all that stuff. But even like as you live here, even over the years, it's just that, even now, I've been here a long time. And it's like I still drive around. I'm just like, man, this is just so cool when you get down the little nooks and crannies of the West End or the East End, it's like you see all the old architecture. It's just really awesome. And there's also just a ton of like forts from way back when. There's lighthouses to look at, the cobblestone streets. The historic charm is just amazing. And that is definitely something that sucks you in. You know, once you live here, if you're ever kind of like, oh, I want to move somewhere else, you go there and you're like, it's kind of lame and boring. Portland has got it going on when it comes to like architecture and historical charm. Number 5, last but not least, sense of community. I mean, once you get up here, you just realize that, hey, it's a small community. You know, even in Portland, which is the largest city here in Maine, it's still a small town. You get to know everybody, familiar faces everywhere you go. My kids are always just like, Dad, how come everywhere you go, somebody knows you or you know somebody? I mean, granted, I'm in real estate. It's still just the being around you. You just end up knowing so many people because the population isn't that high. So it's like it's just always familiar faces everywhere you go. There's tons of great community programs as well to get involved in. Like I'm personally in the Rotary Club. There's a lot of other community type things to get involved in programs. And the local business scene is really great. Like a lot of people that live here, we really try to support local business. And that's just such a great community building thing to have. It's kind of like the Maine way. You support your neighbor when you're doing business with somebody. And that's really great about Maine. And it's such a great feeling. And again, that really sucks you in when you start living here and you're like, oh my God, this is so great. I feel like I'm part of the community so quickly. All right, so hey, anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. 5 things that we just love about living in Portland, Maine. Quick recap: walkable city, artistic community, the food is outrageously good, historical charm, and community. We'd love to hear if there's something else that you got sucked into Portland. Comment below. We'd love to hear about it. If you have any questions or comments, comment below. Hit us up on social media. And remember, if you make Maine your home, you don't have to do it alone. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and one of these buttons over here. You get a lot of great information about real estate, the state of Maine, cool things to do, all that kind of stuff. And of course, if you have any questions at any time, comment below or hit us up on all social media platforms and we'd love to help you out. And we love talking about Maine and real estate in Maine.